Do you know that your pantry could be a ticking time bomb? Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the Little French Homestead. If you are new to my channel today, my name is Sherry. Welcome. So, your prepper pantry, the one you've poured hundreds or maybe even thousands and dollars and countless hours, is a ticking time bomb. For most preppers, there is a single critical mistake that's actively turning their greatest asset into a completely worthless liability. It's a silent countdown that ends not with a bang, but with a sickening discovery of spoiled food, wasted money, and a false sense of security that shatters the moment you need it most. Picture this. The power is out, the storms are empty, and the situation you've been preparing for is no longer a what if. You head to your pantry, that fortress you built against uncertainty. You open up a can of beans only to be met with a foul smell of spoilage. You check another, and it's rusted through. You reach for that bag of rice and find it is teeming with weevils. All of that time, money, and effort is gone. Wiped out not by the disaster outside, but a fatal flaw inside your own walls. Today, we're going to be exposing that flaw. Most importantly, I'm going to give you the simple, straightforward system to find that ticking time bomb and defuse it for good before it is too late. The fatal flaw, it's not a pantry, it's a museum. The single biggest mistake that I see, and trust me, I've made it myself when I started, is treating the pepper pantry like a museum. We build these beautiful static displays of self-reliance. We buy the food, we stack it neatly on the shelves, and then we make that critical error. We store it and forget it. This turns your working pantry into a food archive, a collection of artifacts that are slowly, silently expiring. This set it and forget it mentality is the detonator on your bomb. Food doesn't last forever. While it's true that some staples, like white rice or beans, can last 30 years or even more if stored perfectly, without a system to manage them, you are just gambling. Every can, every bag has a best by date on it for a reason. The nutritional value degrades and the spoilage begins. Just because a can isn't bulging doesn't mean the food inside is worth eating. You might have a 3 years of supply of food on paper, but in reality, you could have a 6-month supply of edible food, and you won't find out until the lights are out. The rest is just a sunk cost, a monument of wasted effort. The solution is almost laughably simple, yet is the single most important habit for a healthy pantry. First in, first out. You've heard of that acronym, 5-0. It is the cornerstone of every successful grocery store and restaurant on the planet, and it needs to be the cornerstone of your pantry. Here's how it works. When the food comes in, it goes to the back of the shelf. The older food gets moved forward to the front. You always kick with the food in front of you. This one simple act transforms your pantry from a static museum into a living, breathing system. It ensures nothing gets lost or forgotten in the back. So how do you actually do this? Well, you don't need a fancy computer system. You bring home the new cans of green beans, just physically move the old cans forward and put the new ones behind them. For stuff you buy in cases, the rule is the same. The new case goes on the bottom and you use from the top first. Want to get a little bit more organized? A simple Sharpie is your best friend. Write the month, the year you bought the item right on that lid. This gives you an at a hand glance idea of your stock's age without having to squint at that tiny expiration date. Now, if you want to get fancy, you can buy can organizing racks. They're slanted shelves where you load new cans at the top and they roll down to the front. They're a great tool, but aren't required. The system is what matters, not the gear. The goal is to make it an automatic rotation, a habit. The silent saboteur, the packaging and environment. The second critical mistake is blindly trusting the stored packaging where you're storing it. Those cardboard boxes and thin plastic bags are not long-term storage solutions. They're open invitation for disasters. Think about that 20-pound bag of rice left in its original paper bag. It's basically a free buffet sign for your pests. Rodents and insects will chew through that packaging with zero effort. Once they're in, they just don't eat the food. They will contaminate the whole bag with waste, making it totally useless. Moisture is just as bad. Cardboard wicks moisture right out of the air, leading to mold. The solution is to build a fortress for your food. You have to repackage your bulk dry goods into proper long storm containers. This is non-negotiable. The gold standard here is Mylar bags paired with oxygen absorbers. Mylar blocks the light, moisture, and the oxygen. When you seal a Mylar bag with oxygen absorbers inside, you remove oxygen, which stops mold and insects in their tracks and dramatically extends the shelf life. For thicker bags, around 7 milliliters is better for protection. Once your food is in the Mylar bag, that should go into a sturdy food-grade bucket. This adds another layer of protection against pets, water, and getting crushed. It seems like it works, but this Mylar and bucket combo is what can turn a 2-year shelf life for rice and beans into a 20 or even 30-year shelf life, assuming you still stored it correctly. That brings us to the environment. Storing food in a garage, attic, or shed is one of the fastest ways to ruin it. These spots will have wild temperature swings. Extreme heat is a shelf life killer. As a rule of thumb, every 10 degrees Fahrenheit increase in temperature can cut your food shelter life in half. So that 30-year food might not even last a few years in a hot garage. Freezing can also be an issue, as it can ruin the texture of the food, and repeat freeze-thaw cycles potentially can cause seals to fail. The ideal storage spot is cool, dark, and dry. You want a stable temperature, ideally between 50 to 7 degrees Fahrenheit. A basement, a cool interior closet, or even space under the bed is a much better choice than the garage. Now, before we get into the system of all of this that ties together, if you're finding this a valuable advice, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We focus on practical, no-nonsense tips to make sure you are truly prepared and can have a real peace of mind. The broken compass. No inventory, no plan. The third mistake is operating blind. You have a pantry, but it's a black hole. You know there's food in there, but you don't know how much, what kind, or when it expires. That's like trying to navigate a ship in a storm with a broken compass. It leads to two big problems: waste and gaps. You waste money buying things you already have because they were buried in the back. And you create a dangerous gaps in your plan by not realizing you're out of something critical, like cooking oil or salt, until it's too late. The solution is to stop guessing and start tracking. You need an inventory. Again, this doesn't have to be complicated. The simplest method, pen and paper, of course. Keep a notepad in your pantry. When you use the last can of corn, you write corn on the shopping list. When you add new items, you jot them down on the inventory sheet with the date. It's low tech, but it works. If you're a bit more of a digital person, a simple spreadsheet is fantastic. Create columns for item, quantity, purchase date, and expiration date. The real magic here is you can sort them by expiration date. This lets you see at a glance what needs to be used soon. You can even color code items that are expiring in the next 6 months to make sure that you use them. There are also some great pantry inventory apps for your phone. Apps like Stockpile or Pantry Check let you scan barcodes, set reminders, and track everything right from your pocket. Whichever method you pick, the key is to be consistent. And the final piece of the puzzle is the quarterly check-in. Every 3 months, just schedule 15 to 20 minutes to review your inventory. See what is getting old and make a plan to work on it into your meals. This simple check-in makes sure your inventory is accurate and that your time bomb never even starts ticking. The untouched hoard. Storing food you will never eat. The final mistake, and honestly, the one that makes me shake my head the most, is stockpiling food your family hates. I've seen it 100 times. Pantries with 200 pounds of wheat berries, but the family has never ground flour in their life. Buckets of quinoa for a family that thinks it tastes like dirt. Yeah, we get so caught up in the 25-year shelf life and bulk deals that we forget the human element. A long shelf life means nothing if, in a crisis, your kids refuse to eat the food. An emergency is the worst possible time to discover your family gets sick of beans after 3 days, or that you have no idea what to do with powdered eggs. Food is a morale. In the high-stress situations, a familiar, comforting meal is just important as the calories that it gives you. The fix for this is actually the most enjoyable one. Store what you eat and eat what you store. Your pantry should be somewhat separate, weird collection of survival foods. It should be just a really big, deep version of your normal pantry in the kitchen. If your family eats spaghetti once a week, then your deep pantry should be loaded with pasta and sauce. If you love making chili, then you should have a deep supply of canned beans, tomatoes, and spices. A great way to do this is the 1 for now, 2 for later method. When you're at the store and you need a can of corn for dinner, buy 3. One goes into the kitchen and the other goes into the deep pantry. Newest one in the back, of course. This is a slow, steady, and budget-friendly way to build up a supply of food that you and your family will actually use. Forget the fantasy survival meals. Build your foundation on the real food your family loves to eat. This makes rotation feel natural, and it ensures that when you need it, your pantry is a source of comfort, not a culinary background. So that ticking time bomb in your pantry, it's not a single bad can of food. It's a broken system, or worse, no system at all. It's the store it and forget it mindset, the blind trust of flimsy packaging, having no clue what you actually own, and stocking up on food you will never eat. But the fix is a system built on these 4 pillars. First in, first out. Rotation keeps everything fresh. Second, a tough packaging and storage strategy to protect your food that you and your family will eat. Third, a simple inventory to track what you have and what you need. That way you don't have a black hole in your pantry. And fourth, a commitment to storing the foods that you already know that your family loves and will eat. When you put these systems in place, you defuse the bomb forever. You turn your pantry from a source of an anxiety and waste into what is always meant to be a quiet, reliable source of peace of mind. Your food storage shouldn't be a tool that empowers you, not a liability that fails you when you need it the most for you and your family. If this video has helped you spot a flaw in your own system, let me know in the comments. What one change are you going to make for you and your family this week? Are you going to go ahead and start an inventory with a paper and pen, or are you going to be fancy and do digital? Repackaging your rice. Put those rices in the Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers and place them in 5-gallon buckets. That way they are fresh and easy to grab. Or are you just finally going to move those new cans to the back? If you do move them to the back, please make sure that you mark them with the marker, and that way they will always be in a correct rotation. I love to read all of your comments and love to hear about what changes you are going to be making. I am going to be making a lot of changes over in the next couple of months. I will be more than happy to post these when I do. We are going to be getting some new shelving units soon, so this is why I wanted to make this video, just to keep myself up to date. So I want to say thank you so much for visiting my home. Thank you for allowing to come into yours. If you like this video, go ahead, like, share, but most importantly, go ahead and subscribe. And as always, thank you so much and keep on cooking. Bye.